a long family friend and moderator for today, Noor Quek. Noor is the Managing Director of NQ International. Besides being a very established advisor to many family offices in Singapore, Noor is a very passionate believer in helping attack breast cancer issues in Singapore. She's currently the founder and the president of the Breast Cancer Society in Singapore. One of the founding members, I'm sorry. And she's also the proud grandmother of 3. Without further ado, put your hands together to welcome Noor, and Noor will introduce the esteemed panel.
Thank you. Good morning. What I was telling Anne is that having heard so much more about the subject and being even more enlightened, I intend to start educating my grandchildren on impact investment from a very early age. That's going to start by making sure that they do the things right. Good morning. I'm sure over the yesterday and this morning you've had some very insightful sessions. I enjoyed it as well. And lots of issues have been raised. And more will be raised. Issues of what it is, what is happening where, how some people are doing it, when should you do it if you haven't done it, and if you have, when did you start, and who should be doing it. And of course we heard the huge numbers of how much money is floating in Asia and how many wealthy people there are and how much Asia needs impact investments. And so we decided to assemble this fantastic crowd of young men, I'm feeling so young today, who are essentially money bags, okay? Because at the end of the day, you're going to hear from them. The topic here is all in the family brackets office. And family offices invariably, especially in Asia, still control a good part of the Asian economies. So the way I'm going to conduct this is you're going to hear from them more than you hear from me, because we want to learn from them, firstly, what they do in their organizations, what they think of the subject. Are they already in it? If not, why not? And if they are, what was the learning curve like? And also, if you want to know more about it, who in their organization should you go to? But I think it's just them. All right. So at the extreme right of the table, we have Bernard Fung, who comes from Credit Suisse Private Bank. And next to Bernard is our Justice of the Peace, we call him, JP. Fuji Piao, he's with Benchmark Group, which is an SFO. For those of you who don't know what that stands for, it's Single Family Office. And then we have Daniel Lin, BlueOcean Capital, which is a single family office stroke multifamily office. And then we have William Chan, an old hand at the game, from Stamford Privee, who does MFO and does investment management. NQ International, the company that I founded and which I run, is basically an MFO advisory. We do not manage funds. So Bernard, please start the discussion by just giving a 1.5 minutes, time starts now, what your experience is and why this topic interests you. Now, once they've given their introduction, then we can go into the questions.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Right, so point of correction. In Credit Suisse, I don't manage a money bag. We work with clients who are thinking of setting up a single family office for themselves. My own background is I used to run a single family office in London. That office belonged to a principal who was very deeply passionate about giving charity, but more important, philanthropy, and what became subsequently described as impact investing in about 2007, 2008. So I'm here, I guess, wearing 2 different capacities, some scar tissue from a prior life and working with clients and families today trying to think about these issues.
Thank you, Bernard. Just a note. Whenever you come from an organization that you don't own, then the organization behind you is the money bags. You institutionalize the clients. Yes, JP.
My name is Piao. I represent the Benchmark Group. Our principal is very passionate about philanthropy, and the areas which his interest is in geographical region is China as well as Indonesia. And he's also very passionate about education, healthcare. So I think for most of us here, one of the key things that we have to think about is where is your passion, even before you go into impact investments. So yeah, that's something that I think we need to think about first.
Thank you, GPL. Daniel?
Hi, I'm Daniel, and we started as a...
We can't hear you.
Mic's off.
It's a bit quiet.
Test, right. I'm Daniel, and I'm from BlueOcean Capital, and we started as a corporate finance advisory firm. And in the course of the couple of years that we've been doing this, we have moved from serving high net worths to families. And what we are most interested in is looking at family office from three perspectives. I think the traditional family office that most people think about now, it's really in the investment space and getting a return. But we are looking at it from investment as one pillar, philanthropy as one pillar, and succession planning as the last. So we pay equal attention to all three. And I think what's interesting about this panel is that we're seeing how the investment space and the philanthropic space can actually be seen perhaps as one area.
Thank you, Daniel. I'm going to pass this mic to William so we don't have the interference issues we had yesterday.
Hello everyone, can you hear me? Yes, hi, my name is William. Represent the Stamford Privee. We are a multi-family office that has 3 families represented in... Yes, okay, I apologize because I'm also just been through a virus attack, so my voice is not of great quality anyway. So I'll try to... Try this one? Okay.
This is a lady's mic.
Can you hear me now? Okay. So it's the machine, it's not me. Okay. So we like the idea that obviously impact investing seminars like these give us an opportunity to come out in the open and discuss a very important topic like impact investing, philanthropy, and how you try and bring money into that space and how the whole Asian ecology of family wealth is still very nascent or new to this concept. And so, we think that if you get the opportunity to discuss more extensively and through the education process, I guess, with the families in Asia, I think, there's going to be a lot of room for progress.
Thank you, William. I'm a big borrower of quotes, and I picked one from the wonderful brochure we had yesterday, we're having for the session. Henry Ford said, "A business which makes nothing but money is a poor business." And I think it's a good place to start. Speaking experience with family offices and with private banks and the investment advisors, it's always that conventional investment approach. And we know from discussions yesterday and today that there are issues with that, with impact investments. So the question that's often asked is, are family offices migrating from traditional grant-based approaches to more sustainable investment strategies like impact investments? If so, why? If not, why? William, would you like to take that question first, please?
Well, I guess, with the many dialogues that we've had with, wealth owners and families, I think, as what Daniel also alluded to earlier, that I think philanthropy has always been a pillar, or doing good has always been one of the things that families look at once they, have come to a certain point in the family's wealth. I think for either, religious reasons or some, persuasion via the family experience that they tend to already have some kind of involvement with philanthropy. Now, whether they move from traditional into the, you know, if you like sexier space like impact investing in a big way, I think not. I think it's still quite new in terms of the whole perception of it, the understanding of it. But indeed, if you look at how logical that progression should be and can be, I think certainly there's a lot of room for it.
As a firm advising your clients, do you actually talk to them about impact investments? And if so, what kind of reactions do you get from them?
We don't necessarily, you know, feature impact investing or philanthropy as always the main topic of discussion. But if it does sort of surface because either the patriarch or the second generation do encounter topics because of exposures to, you know, seminars like this or to IIX and other avenues where obviously if they have been into the States and they came back. So these concepts starting to pick up. And I think the argument that goes on with the family is, you know, how do you then morph or move from the traditional way of giving into a full-blown, you know, impact investing trend. So not necessarily a topic that we bring up on a regular basis.
So I could safely conclude there that the proactivity or proactivism is not yet there, but hopefully after this it might change. Dan, your group of clients, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think family offices are migrating from it because the family members themselves take a different approach. I think there are two main reasons. One is the generational environment. I think for the younger generation, we grew up in a place where we had a lot of opportunity. We have the benefit of the internet that gives us exposure that my parents couldn't or didn't have in their time. So with increased exposure, I think there was a natural sense towards social good. And I think because of that, you find that a lot of family members now do this as part of their work. So it's no longer get a day job and then see how I can spend time helping others, but really having the opportunity to do this full time. So I think the natural progression is then, therefore, instead of just giving financial resources, you're looking at how you can make it better by putting your own time, finding the right people to be involved on a longer term basis, because this is going to be a job from now on for them.
Thank you. As BlueOcean, have you had direct encounters with clients who've either asked you or you've sold them the idea, and what's the reaction been?
I think most of the drive has been from the families themselves. BlueOcean in itself is really still an investment firm in that we provide advice on corporate finance. But a lot of the driving force comes from family members who are saying, hey, instead of just giving financial resources, I would like to go down and visit. I would like to bring a group of friends to do this with me. So I found that our approach has to be a little different. So we now need to be able to say, okay, if you want to do that, let me bring you to the right people. Or if you want to start off with philanthropy or investing in this space, depending on where they're at, bring the right people in.
Now, remember this, parked somewhere, because we're going to come back to it. This gray line between philanthropy and impact investments is always coming up. And we have to actually, at the end of the day, try and summarize where one stops, where the other starts, but where they start integrating and making 1 + 1 equals 11. JP, when we had our discussion, you had some interesting questions as well, and we understand that you, maybe the family has some experience in this field. What are the driving forces, and what are the doubts, and what do you want to know more so that the family can take this initiative to the next level?
I think generally, traditionally philanthropy, most philanthropists are focusing more on, over the years it has basically changed from the headline grabbing right? To to demonstrate the philanthropist's generosity. To currently there is a change towards the focus on where the money was being put in and what impact has it made. Basically, what has the money accomplished? So, in terms of the social enterprise, by actually investing in social enterprise, it will create the multiplier effect, and that would actually generate a lot more social impact than your traditional grant-based approach. Yeah. So
What challenges, as I understand, the bulk of your experience has been in conventional investments. So sitting, let's say, in a family office environment, and they're looking to you to look at new avenues to add to the balance sheet. Just for yourself, what challenges have you had to face to try and look beyond that circle that you are comfortable, where you have a comfort zone, and that includes impact investments?
right. I think first of all, the challenge from the principal's perspective, right? As a family office traditionally has been focusing on returns, maximizing returns, minimizing risk, right? So for us, we need to educate the principals that you need to draw the line between for-profit investments, right? And when it comes to impact investing, you need to decide whether is it impact first or financial first. If your focus is on the financial first, right, of impact investing, then you would actually, the main focus will be on the financial aspects of the social enterprise that you invest in, but at the same time, you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of the financial returns for the social impact. But if you are looking from a impact first aspects, then you should we will educate the principals that you should disregard, or not say disregard, but focus less on the financial returns, but more on the social returns. And so, for example, you could invest in something whereby you maximize social returns, but at the same time, you're okay if you get your capital back, just your capital back.
Thank you. Again, we're talking about returns, but there is a big space here on time frame, which perhaps someone might like to comment on later. But what does your institution think? Since you said it's not individual, but also please share with us your experiences in London working with interesting markets like Africa.
Okay, so you've asked several questions. So the motivation of why family offices are thinking about making investments in the philanthropic space. I tend not to use labels, so I know I'm in an impact investing conference. I'll try not to use the word impact investment so much. We have different types of clients. There are families that have been giving philanthropically for a long time, right? Charity, giving money to assuage pain or suffering or emergencies. There are families who have been giving back in a systematic way to sustain particular institutions like homes or things that they're sustaining institutions.